This is Unit 2 in my entrepreneurship class. Choices, change, and opportunity is the theme. Students will click on the link to the guided notes, which are embedded in this slide. They can also find them in Google Class or Canvas, depending on where it is you're operating from. And the essential question for this unit is, how do entrepreneurs recognize opportunities and turn them into business ideas? By the end of this unit, my hope is that students will notice problems, connect them to their skills and interests, and create a first business idea. In all of my units, the teacher has access to a teacher guide if you're one of my teacher friends out there using this resource. And you can see how I break this down in terms of the days. There are a number of different activities that take place to break up the monotony of lecture, and a couple tips that are embedded in here as well. Here we go. Every entrepreneur makes choices. Some of those choices create opportunity, and some choices limit it. What is one choice that students have recently made about their future? I have this in Pear Deck so students can actually type their response. And I do that because otherwise I get my professional participators, 3, 4 kids in a class are always the ones that raise their hand. And then the other 20, however many it is, or 30, depending on your class size, kind of sit back and just wait for those students to be the ones to participate. And I don't like that. I would rather everybody have some kind of a voice. And so I'll let students both share out orally, but also have the opportunity to type their thoughts as well. And then I will read those anonymously. You are the entrepreneur. That's the whole mindset of this entire semester, is getting students to stop thinking like employees and start thinking like entrepreneurs. If they own a small restaurant, the food costs have increased and they are barely breaking even. They have two choices ahead of them. They need to either choose raise menu prices or cut staff hours. What would be their choice? I have them think, pair, share this out, and we get a couple different volunteers to go ahead and do this. If nobody volunteers, then I will call on groups randomly. Entrepreneurs respond to change. Change is constant, it's always going to be there, and entrepreneurs need to adapt. Think about something that has changed in your world. How do you respond to change? And I have my students list out a number of different things that have changed, whether it's technology or perhaps it's politics or legal concerns, or perhaps it's anything from the external environment that's outside of a business's control. This could be domestic types of change, international change, and so many other different things. The goal is just to recognize that everyone makes choices about their future already, and this sets up the idea that entrepreneurs do the same thing but use a different way of thinking when they make decisions. And so, putting them in the shoes of being the entrepreneur, their restaurant faces a change. A new competitor just opened up nearby. That competitor is offering faster service and lower prices. How will your business respond? It is worth noting, I do encourage my students not to go lower in price, but rather innovate. Come up with some type of competitive advantage. Don't just compete on low price leadership, because eventually you'll price yourself out of business. And moving on, we talk about how entrepreneurs see opportunity. Problems are everywhere. They're everywhere. I mean, and I could name off a million of these, but the choice is theirs for the entrepreneurship aspect to find a way to solve those problems. Don't just be the person that gripes about problems all over the place. Come up with solutions. And I also note that even if a student doesn't become an entrepreneur, don't be the student that only sees problems. See solutions. This will help you in your employment. If you see solutions in your day to day workplace, trust that you will become the person that eventually gets the promotion, or is the person that is chosen, because you are a visionary in terms of coming up with solutions, not just seeing problems. So opportunity is finding a way to solve them. What is a problem you notice in your daily life? And I have students list these out. I don't like getting out of the shower when my feet are cold. I bump my shin into the corner of the bed every time that I'm walking around. When I walk downstairs, the third stair is a little bit slippery. Fill in the blank, whatever that problem might be. Putting them in that shoe of the entrepreneur, customers have been asking for a healthier menu option at your restaurant, and they're also looking for grab and go meals. You have an opportunity. What are you going to do? And how do you niche that out? How do you make it to where it is specific to your restaurant, where people know that you are the place for those two choices? I have my students list down as many problems as they possibly can. Problems they encounter, problems others encounter, problems that they have heard about, problems at the school or in the community, problems that impact society. The list goes on and on. The more problems that we can identify, the more solutions there are out there. And so my students have the choice of what business that they will create. In my class, students do end up picking a business that they pursue for the entire semester long. And with that choice, they have to identify an initial problem. And so as we do this, they list all of their interests, they list all of their skills, they then list all of the things they dislike doing. And depending on what your school's perspective is on I will have my students first do this and brainstorm on their own as to what type of problem and solution it is that they might be looking for. But if they can come up with all of their interests, all of their skills, and things they dislike doing, we can then start to talk about brainstorming one business idea that they would like to explore. And once they have a few ideas, I do encourage them to consider using AI not as their brain, but as a tool and a resource to be able to supplement their thinking to help them possibly ask, hey, this is my business idea. What might be some challenges that I will face? Maybe even provide me with some scenarios that would be likely for me to have to overcome as an entrepreneur. So as they come up with that idea, I have them use their list, the problems they noticed, interests they enjoy, skills they have, things they dislike. The idea should solve a real problem, something they are interested in because it's all semester long. I don't want them doing something they dislike, and connect to their skills. So once they've chosen a problem and brainstormed a possible solution, we then test the idea with real people. So they come up with all of this information. They don't just build in isolation. They test the ideas with real customers before organizing their business. On the next few slides, we gather feedback on their idea. My students have to survey, doing a little bit of market research here, survey 3 people in the class about their business idea. You ask them, what do you like about the idea? What concerns might you have? And what is one suggestion that they might have for improvement? They'll then record their feedback in the guided notes, and all of this is within the guided notes so that they're actively working on it as I go through the slides. And now that they have this information, they organize their business idea in a lean model canvas. So many entrepreneurs use this type of graphic organizer to quickly map out how a business works before investing time or money. And again, this item is in the guided notes as well. So each box answers one of the key questions here. So this canvas helps entrepreneurs make choices, adapt to changes, and identify opportunities. I give them some quick ideas as to what goes in each of those boxes. They then are tasked with creating their lean model canvas where entrepreneurs again organize their ideas before building a business. They complete this document on their guided notes and include the customer's problem, target customer, what is the solution, and their value proposition. We revise and make revisions all semester long. I give them a lean model canvas type of each one of these sections right here is filled in with the same information as to what it is you should be putting in yours. And then I provide them with an example for a pet grooming service. What is an elevator pitch? I have them start thinking about this because once they have their lean model canvas completed, we will then pitch it to our peers so that we can get some information. So it should clearly describe the problem, the solution, and value in a brief amount of time. So this is usually 45 seconds or less. So I share with them an elevator pitch is the general idea that you got put in an elevator with somebody that is of influence that could help you with your business idea or be an investor or possibly a buyer or a partner or something like that. And you have 45 seconds to explain your idea. How do you do it in a clear and efficient way? So, how can you explain your business so someone will quickly understand it? What to include in the pitch? Well, it should answer 3 questions. What problem are you solving? What is your solution? And who is your target customer? And if time allows, add what makes your business unique. Keep it short, keep it clear. The strong pitch that people will end up purchasing is one that is summed up. It's not something that's long winded, easy to understand. It focuses on the main idea and is not too long winded. Usually it's about 3 to 5 simple sentences. What is the most important thing that someone should remember about your idea? So you need to be persuasive as well. I give students an example elevator pitch on this index card right here. And again, it goes over the problem, solution, the customer, and what is the value for them. We then do a gallery walk where students will get in concentric circles where one circle is moving around another circle that stays stationary, and the moving group is usually going to be the one that presents first, and then they receive feedback from their peers. So if the student is presenting, they explain it in 45 seconds or less, which I proctor. I have a timer on my phone, and then I'll announce where we're at. They describe the problem, describe the solution, and if you are the person that is listening, you listen to the pitch, you ask one question, give one suggestion, and then we rotate so that everybody can get through this circle. You may not necessarily see every one of the students, but you get good feedback, quality feedback, and it's collaborative. It's an opportunity for students to use their voices as well. And so you've made a choice. You chose the business that you want to pursue for the semester, and entrepreneurs make choices to pursue opportunities. I have my students write their final venture idea in one sentence, one clean sentence, and this is the business that they should choose to further explore. Entrepreneurs do respond to change. They adapt based on feedback. So if you receive suggestions during the gallery walk, make some improvements to your idea now. I have my students clarify, adjust, and refine for their customers. They recognize whatever the opportunity is that they have in front of them. These students that will become entrepreneurs answer in one sentence what is an opportunity that their business idea can create. And additionally, I give them an example. The example is this business creates an opportunity for busy pet owners to save time while keeping their pets groomed. Entrepreneurs make hiring choices, and you can too. I finish off this unit by having students go through, and it's kind of a fun activity. It's like a gamified virtual video game, if you will, called Survival of the Best Fit. And my students have to make difficult decisions and choices every day, especially when hiring employees. And it can be time consuming to find the right candidate, especially in 2026. Many customers are making the choice to optimize efficiency with automation. So in this video game, they are the entrepreneur. They need to hire employees, and they play this game to make hiring choices with AI while playing a game. If you use any of my resources, I would greatly appreciate you leaving me feedback, as it helps me grow and also incentivizes me to continue doing what it is that I do. You can find more content from me on a variety of different resources and channels here. My YouTube channel has full lesson walkthroughs for intro to business, personal finance. I'm currently working on entrepreneurship, and intro to marketing will be coming soon. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and the Teachers Pay Teachers store. These are my terms of use. Folks, I appreciate all of your passion for teaching what I believe to be the most valuable class on campus.